23F positive pregnancy test, and I haven't had smex with a male in 6 years? Help. Trigger warning. Discussions of grape. Possible cancer. I'm freaking out. I'm scared that I either have some crazy form of cancer or was graped, or that I'm crazy and had smex that I don't remember. I am 23F and a lesbian, not very sexually active, but have smex with the girl I'm sort of seeing about twice a month. She is a cisgender woman, and there's no possible way she could get me pregnant, just to be clear. The last time I had smex with a male that I remember was in high school 6 years ago. I am 5 feet 3 inches, 140 pounds. I think I'm healthy, I take Zoloft and sometimes use non-prescription allergy medicine, but I don't think those things are relevant. I started throwing up occasionally maybe a month ago, and I wasn't really worried about it and thought I just had a stomach bug. I went to a walk-in clinic this morning because it wasn't getting better, and they told me I'm pregnant. I explained that I can't be pregnant, and they said I must be. I don't really keep track of my periods, but I'm not sure if I've had one in a couple of months. I am scheduled to see a gynecologist next Friday to confirm the pregnancy, but I'm scared and want answers now. I've been reading that there are some kinds of cancer that can cause a positive pregnancy test, but I can't find a lot of information about them. Can anyone tell me how likely that is? The only other possibility is last November I had been drinking at my friend's house where a bunch of us got together to watch a football game, and I don't drink and drive, so I slept on their couch. I didn't drink all that much, I think 3 drinks, so I shouldn't have blacked out. My friends whose house I stayed at are a male-female couple. I texted my male friend asking him if we had smex or something and if I was just so drunk I didn't remember it, and he was very confused and upset and said he wouldn't cheat on his wife or have smex with someone who was that drunk. I want to trust my friend, but the thing I'm really scared of is that my friend graped me and is lying and that I didn't even know it. I live in Tennessee and abortion is illegal here and I'm scared. Can somebody please tell me what is going on and if there's any other reason I could have a positive test? Relevant comments. Is it possible for you to take an at-home test? Medical errors do happen. I didn't even think to do this because I've been so panicked. I'm going to the store right now to get a test and will let you know. I got 2 tests, a regular and a digital, and they are both positive. I was hoping you were right that it was a mix-up. Thanks for at least reminding me that home tests exist. I've been so freaked out I just wasn't thinking. Could be ovarian cysts. Thank you. I didn't know ovarian cysts could cause positive pregnancy tests. I do have an OB/GYN appointment a week from now. Do you remember going to sleep that night and waking up fully clothed? Also, have you been menstruating? I think I remember lying down to go to sleep, and I'm pretty sure, but it's been a couple of months, and I wasn't thinking anything was unusual. I'm not totally sure if I've had a period in the last couple of months. My periods are always light, and I don't keep track of them. Abdominal ultrasounds will show if there's a pregnancy or a tumor, and not all tumors are malignant. Thank you so much. Hearing that it could be anything besides pregnancy or cancer is a huge relief. I'm so scared that I'm either going to delete or that I'm pregnant and have to have the baby, neither of which are things I want right now at 23. I do need to figure out something to do to take my mind off it. I don't know if I should tell the girl I'm talking to or tell my parents. I don't want to scare anyone, but I feel so scared right now. Mini update in comments, later that day. Update sort of. Thank you for the responses. They really have been helpful and I've been a lot less panicked even though I know I still don't know what's wrong with me. Seeing that it may be something besides cancer or pregnancy has helped a lot because I thought those were my only 2 options. I am at my parents' house and feeling a little bit better. My parents will help me get an abortion if I am actually pregnant even if we have to go out of state, and my mom said she will go with me. I texted my friend, the wife of the person who I'm scared raped me, and told her everything and that I don't want to accuse her husband, but I'm scared, and she swore on her life that I didn't seem drugged, just kind of drunk. And that I went to sleep on her couch, and they both went to bed right after. She said there is no way he could have gotten up and essayed me without her knowing. So I feel a little better, and I'm trying not to work myself worrying that she's complicit and that they conspired to grape me. I feel better reading some of these responses and seeing that there are conditions besides cancer that can cause a false positive, and my parents are telling me that even if it is cancer, that doesn't mean I'm going to delete. We're also going to try to see if an OB/GYN can see me sooner, and my dad is going to call tomorrow to see if there are any urgent cares that have ultrasound machines. I will update once I have answers. Relevant comment. On what the nurse at the clinic said. Yes. I said I can't be pregnant, and she said that I obviously can be because I am. She said false positives aren't a real thing, but that the OB/GYN could tell me more. Update post. 1.5 days later. I posted a couple of days ago about having a positive pregnancy test even though I am a lesbian and haven't had smex with a male in 6 years. I got a lot of good advice and kind words. Thank you all so much. I'm going to try to explain what is happening now, but between stress and medicine, I'm not sure I'm able to make a lot of sense, and I'm not sure if I understand it. I went to my parents' house last night and told them what was happening, and this morning my dad found an urgent care about 2 hours from their house that had an ultrasound machine, and they were willing to see me, and my mom took me. They did another pregnancy test and it was also positive, and then did a regular ultrasound and did not find a pregnancy. So they had me go to the emergency room because they said a positive pregnancy test with an empty uterus is an emergency because it could mean there is a fetus growing outside of the uterus, which is very dangerous. The ER did a transvaginal ultrasound and couldn't find a pregnancy, and they did blood work and said my pregnancy hormone levels are very high and my potassium and iron are a little low. And they thought they could see something on my right ovary, so they did laparoscopic surgery. They ended up removing my entire ovary because they found a kind of tumor on it called an immature teratoma. I don't remember going in for surgery or waking up, but I was freaking out and hysterical when I woke up, and they had to give me Valium in an IV. Mom and the nurses told me about the tumor later. The nurse said that they are talking to some specialists and doing pathology to find out if it's malignant or not because they said a teratoma could be either malignant or not, and I have tried looking up information online, but I don't know if I understand it. I know I owe apologies to my friend who I thought might have raped me. Please no one make me feel worse about that than I already do. I think I am staying at the hospital overnight. My questions now are, how long does pathology take? Is pathology the same thing as a biopsy? Would the tumor explain why I've been throwing up, or is that something else? Will they be able to tell me if I have cancer before I leave the hospital? If it is cancer, am I going to delete? Final update post. Next day. Last update before I probably go home. The doctor came and talked to me. It turns out that I had misunderstood, and they didn't say it was an immature teratoma, but they did say it had features that could be one. It is definitely a teratoma, but they aren't sure if it's mature or immature because it looks like it could be either. They redid my blood work today and it still has pregnancy hormone, but is already less than half of what it was yesterday, so they are sure it was the tumor causing it, and they're pretty sure it was the reason I had been vomiting also. The doctor said he thinks that, even if it is malignant, they probably removed all of it, and I don't need to keep worrying that I'm going to delete. He said it also shouldn't affect my health because people do just fine with one ovary, and I can still have a baby if I ever want to. I'm not sure if I want biological children, but that is still a good thing to know. They're going to do a scan to look for other masses before I leave today and said that should put my mind at ease. I got an IV yesterday that brought my potassium back to normal, so that is fine now too. I talked to my friends whose house I stayed at in November about everything that happened, and they said they're not at all mad at me and were just very worried about me because they knew they hadn't hurt me, but they were scared someone else had. They know that I trust them, but was just really freaked out. I also told the girl I've been talking to, and all of that is okay too. She is a little upset that I didn't tell her sooner because she would have come with me to urgent care and the hospital, but we'll work through it. I sent her a picture of a teratoma from the internet and said, "This is our son," and explained what happened, and we got a good laugh at least. They said the pathology results may take about 2 weeks, and if it is cancerous, they will refer me to an oncologist closer to where I live who works with these kinds of cancers. I'm supposed to take pregnancy tests at home every 2 days for 2 weeks and contact a doctor if they are not negative after 2 weeks, because that could mean there's something else or something left over causing it. This has all been very strange and surreal, but I'm very thankful that I was not pregnant and that if I have cancer, it is probably treatable. I was so scared and had so many horrible thoughts racing through my mind that my friends had raped me and that I was going to have his baby and share custody with him. I never thought I would be relieved to have a monster tumor with teeth and hair that might be cancerous, but I am relieved. Thank you to everyone who answered my questions and reassured me. I was so scared. I'm still a little scared, but you all helped a lot. Okay, well, new fear unlocked. I really hope you're doing okay, OP. That is crazy. Now on to the next story. Story 2. Male boss is clueless about pregnancy. Trigger warnings, harassment, misogyny, sexism, hostile workplace. OMG, this just now happened at work. My boss is male. I have a male coworker in the next cube whose wife is pregnant and is due within the next few weeks. Boss is trying to make coverage plans for this guy to be out of the office when the baby happens. The boss literally tried to write the guy up because he wouldn't tell him exactly what day the delivery would happen. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't hear it with my own ears. Top comments. Bulldog_blues. What? How? Has this guy literally never interacted with someone who's pregnant or the partner of someone who's pregnant before? In his entire life? It doesn't bode well for how he'd treat any other unpredictable circumstance either. Update, same day, 2 hours later. Holy poop, the idiot dude just did it again. He finally got it into his head why my coworker can't name the specific date when his wife will go into labor. Now he's trying to save face by being sympathetic with Mr. Father-to-be. Our office break room has a private mother's room where women can go pump if they need to. Mr. Boss Dude said to the father dude, literally, that he was sorry there wasn't an equivalent father's room. The dude legit thought that the mother's room was for an exhausted new mom to go nap. That one just earned him a march into his female boss office. I'd love to be a fly on that wall. Top comments. Iowantha, I realize that not all smex education is created equal, but damn. Does the boss have kids? A female spouse? Does someone need to buy her a drink and see if she's okay? OOP, he had an ex-girlfriend. Probably a reason for the ex. Update 2, 1 day later. So, several of you asked for further updates about my idiot boss who, in the space of 1 hour yesterday, revealed that he thought that pregnant women could predict the exact date their delivery would happen. Revealed his belief that our office's mother's room was for napping, not pumping. After number 2 was revealed, he was immediately called into the female grand boss office so she could set the record straight. Their meeting took about 10 minutes, and then he came back into our work area. Guys, it got so much worse from there. I had to delay posting this update until I found out what the final result would be. He starts by admitting to everybody there, mostly male, I and one other person in the room were female, that he had misunderstood the purpose of the mother's room. Okay, so far so good. Then he took out his metaphorical shovel and started digging his hole even deeper. Turns out he also misunderstood the concept of lactation. The dude literally thought that all women are always lactating all the time. As in, the breasts come in, the milk comes out, regardless of any woman's pregnancy or birthing status. And then, oh my God. The dude literally points to my chest and says, I mean, look at hers. Hers are really big. She should be in that room all the time, but she's not. One of the men in the room immediately gives him a forceful, shut up. I follow up with a spontaneous performance of 4-letter beat poetry that would melt my phone if I tried to type it out. One of my coworkers immediately went out to fetch the grand boss again. She got back into the room and escorted him out. We didn't see him the rest of the day. I got to the office this morning and saw his personal items boxed up on his desk. Grand boss has already informed me that my now ex-boss will be coming to collect his items later today, and she gave me the opportunity to be elsewhere when he arrives. Nope. I'm going to be here to watch him get fired. This will be glorious. Relevant/top comments. OOP on her company's policies on if an incident happens at the workplace. OOP, thanks for the very necessary response. I should add that my company has a 3 strikes policy when it comes to SH, only 1 strike if there's physical contact, which there wasn't in this case. I learned from Grand Boss that this was his 3rd strike. I don't know the details of the first 2 incidents, but he displayed a pattern of this behavior before. Red grape fruitage, just wow. I spit out my coffee when I read that he thought women lactated 24/7. Then, to point at your chest, he didn't just dig a hole. He jumped into the hole and buried himself alive. Queen of support, OMFG. He is so clueless. How does he walk and breathe at the same time? Final update, same day, 4 hours later. He came through just now to collect his box of stuff. He was escorted into our office by Grand Boss and our building security guard. I was looking straight at him all the way through, trying to gauge his state of mind. He looked appropriately humiliated. At one point he locked eyes with me, noticed my shit-eating grin, and looked like he was about to say something. Mr. Male coworker in the next cube, the one with the pregnant wife, whose interaction yesterday started this whole thing, had a video queued up on his desktop. At that exact moment he hit play. It's an 8-second clip of my hero George Takei, who said the only words that needed to be said to this guy. He slumped, defeated, and slithered out of the building with his escort. Once he left the room, all of us just burst out laughing. It's going to be a great weekend. New update. Happy update from a horrible experience at work. A few weeks ago I started that thread that took off about my, now ex, boss who used his ignorance of female anatomy to commit sexual harassment and got fired for it. The whole adventure started because he tried to write my male coworker up because the coworker wouldn't tell him exactly what day his wife would go into labor. Today's update, the labor and delivery was successful. My coworker now has a beautiful baby girl, and I hope she grows up never having a negative story to bring to the sub. New OOP comment, OOP here. I didn't want to gloat before, but I want to gloat now. I got promoted to replace the dude, who we now affectionately call our lactation consultant. It's absolutely true that my breasts got me benefits at work, and I'm proud of it. That is absolutely crazy. How did that guy become a boss? I'm very glad that the new baby was born without any complications, and congrats on your new promotion. If you like these stories, be sure to like and subscribe as I upload new videos every day.